you doing?
Good. Good morning and welcome to the Berry County Board of Commissioners meeting for May 27, 2026. If you would please stand for our moment of silence during invocation or pledge of allegiance. To lead us this morning, our veteran Bruce Campbell will lead us in our invocation and moment of silence.
I would like to just give a little insert of what took place at our cemetery yesterday in Prairieville. All a very difficult weekend for many of us veterans that were blessed to survive a very bad time. So this weekend, we enjoyed many blessings, visiting family, grilling out, going to the lake, just to name a few. While you are enjoying all these, I would ask you to do one thing, to always take a moment, stop and reflect on what made this all possible. Somewhere, soldiers, men and women, were fighting to preserve our way of life, our freedom. Storming a beach at Normandy, fighting in the Chosin Reservoir, being dropped in the jungle in Vietnam, giving out in Desert Storm or in the mountains of Afghanistan. No matter what the battle, one thing never changed. You are an American, not a Republican, not a Democrat, not an independent. You are an American. Many times barely an adult and sometimes not an adult at all. You are scared and far from home. Your friends are bleeding and dying around you. You think of family and you push on. And yes, many, many gave all, so we could all have what we have today. Dear Lord, thank you for all the blessings that are bestowed upon us. Thank you for the many, many sacrifices that are made so we are able to enjoy the sometimes forgotten, wonderful and beautiful benefits that we have in the United States of America. Please watch over all of our soldiers. Bless those that have fallen. And God bless our amazing USA. Thank you. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Bruce. That was fantastic. For purposes of attendance, Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Bassett? Yes. Bassett?
Bassett.
Here. Thank you. Carlton?
Here.
Campbell?
Here.
Jetty? Here. Spelker?
Here.
Tennyson?
Here.
Hatfield is absent, and Jackson.
Here. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Reports for state or county officials. Are there any state or county officials with us this morning who'd like to give an update to the board? Good morning.
We have a sergeant. It's my privilege to present to you Deputy Arnold for promotion to the rank of sergeant with the Berry County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Arnold began preparing for his career in law enforcement at Ferris State University, where he earned a bachelor's degree while attending a police academy. His dedication and work ethic are evident early on as he graduated second in his class. Following his graduation, Deputy Arnold served for 1 year as a patrol officer with Prairieville Township Police Department, where he gained valuable experience serving the community and developing his skills as a young officer. Deputy Arnold joined the Berry County Sheriff's Office September 14th, 2022 as a deputy sheriff. Since that time, he has constantly demonstrated professionalism, dependability, and a strong commitment to the citizens of Berry County and to this organization. While employed in the Sheriff's Office, Deputy Arnold has pursued specialized training in accident investigation and accident reconstruction, further expanding his knowledge and value to the department. He has shown initiative in seeking additional responsibilities and earned the respect of both his supervisors, his fellow deputies, through his work ethic and positive attitude. Deputy Arnold's attention to detail, sound judgment, and integrity are qualities that make him well-suited for a leadership role. He leads by example, communicates effectively, and demonstrates a willingness to mentor and support newer deputies. He has proven himself to be someone who can be relied upon in difficult situations and trusted to make decisions that reflect positively on the office and the community we serve. For these reasons, I'm promoting Deputy Arnold to the rank of sergeant. I am confident he will continue to serve the citizens of Berry County with professionalism, dedication, and honor in this new leadership role. And with your patience here, I'm going to swear him in. Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm that you support the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution of the State of Michigan, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Sergeant in and for the City of Hastings, County of Berry, and State of Michigan, according to the best of your ability.
Yes, I do.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
You got 2 lieutenants, another sergeant, and another sheriff here supporting you right now. So, and welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
You got to sign.
Are there other state or county officials that would like to give an update to the board?
Good morning, Jeff Kiesler from Planning and Zoning. And I just want to take an opportunity to share my thoughts about the pending legislative package at the state level to remove some aspects of local control of planning and zoning. I believe the bill would result in an overreach by state government and a less than adequate delivery of services to our residents and constituents. I believe the legislation usurps local control by overriding the authority of our county and local governments to manage land use and zoning decisions that directly impact our communities. Berry County's rural character, defined by open spaces, farmland, low-density development, and our unique quality of life, is worth preserving. This legislation threatens that character by weakening residents' ability to have a meaningful voice in proposed zoning changes. The bill also makes it more difficult for residents to oppose dense development projects in the county. This action would directly impact residents' desires to remain rural and sparsely populated. I believe the decisions about development should remain with the people who live in Berry County and understand our local needs here. We work with many great state officials, but they're not on the ground here in Berry County, and often they don't even visit here. It'd be difficult to imagine that those officials would have a better sense of the needs and desires of Berry County than the local officials who are currently representing them. I believe that land use decisions should be made through the cooperation and partnership of local residents and officials and not be dictated from Lansing. I would urge Berry County to oppose this legislative package and any similar efforts to preempt local zoning authority. Thank you for your time.
Jeff, do you have those bill numbers?
The main one is HB 5532, but there's a package. So,
Is that out of committee yet? Is it going to a vote, or is it still in committee being discussed?
I will have to get back to you on that. I'm not entirely sure. So,
Okay, I hadn't heard that it had been released yet or out on the floor, but,
I don't believe so, but I'll follow up on that for sure.
okay. Questions for Jeff on that?
If I can.
Yep.
Can you send all of us that information, then we can,
Yes, I can.
phone calls and send emails?
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I got one.
Yep.
So, can you basically explain to everybody that basically if a township has a 1 acre rule?
Yep.
Right? So they can basically take this down to half of that or whatever, right?
Much smaller lot size, much more density than we would allow, and even also like multifamily housing in areas where we wouldn't, zone that. I mean, we do have multifamily housing in the county. There are places where it's appropriate. There are places where it's definitely not appropriate, and we wouldn't have the say over that anymore.
So they can basically in a neighborhood You could put a duplex, or you could put a...
It is kind of written that way, yeah. I mean, it's hard to say, but
That is like, I definitely
correct.
going up and beyond to what the scope of what this was ever intended to be.
Correct.
Yeah, legislation makes duplex by right anywhere in the state. It makes it as part of a single-family zoning, so that would be by right. And there are many places where it is already included by right, but to make a wholesale overall change is a little over the top. But those bills were emailed, the numbers were emailed out to everybody on Friday. So,
Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Yes.
To elaborate a little bit, our communities that we serve, whether they are under county zoning or whether they've taken planning and zoning under their own control, they've worked for decades on their master plans with lots of local public input. So, in a very deliberate community planning approach. So to take things down to, in this case, it's a little over 1,500 square feet for a minimum or maximum lot size, right? That's a third of an acre.
Yeah.
So it's considerable preemption of local planning control. And I think the intention is good to address housing shortages.
Sure. Yeah.
But this is, in my opinion, and Jeff and I talked last week, this is absolutely going to gut our local control of planning and zoning in our communities.
Yeah.
So everybody needs to reach out. We've worked really hard to promote housing and housing strategies in the county,
Yeah.
but this is not the way to go about it.
Great point.
Okay, maybe we should consider a resolution.
That's what I'd like to make a suggestion.
Okay.
With our representatives, I think they're somewhat on our side. We should send it to the representatives that aren't.
Yep. Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Are there any other updates from state or county officials? Limited public comment at this time. Any member of the public wishing to address the board may do so for up to 3 minutes for any item listed on our agenda this morning. Easy on me here. Okay. Approval of written agenda. At this time, any member of the Board of Commissioners may ask for an item to be removed from the consent agenda and placed on our items for consideration. Hearing no such request, does any commissioner wish to change the agenda additionally? Hearing no such request, the agenda is approved as written. Various correspondence. Does any commissioner have correspondence they'd like to share with the board? Hearing none. Consent agenda, Commissioner Smelter.
Mr. Chair, I would move to approve the May 12th, 2026 Board of Commissioner meeting minutes.
Is there support?
Support.
Motion by Smelker, support by Tunison for approval for all items listed on the consent agenda. Discussion is not allowed and a roll call vote is required. All those in favor vote aye. Opposed vote nay. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Bassett?
Aye.
Carlton?
Aye.
Cavell?
Aye.
Getty?
Aye.
Smelter?
Aye.
Tennyson?
Aye.
Hatfield's absent, and Jackson.
Aye. The consent agenda is approved. This morning we have some presentations, so we're going to start out with Jennifer Heisman. Jennifer and Nicole.
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay, thanks. Hi, thanks for having us here. We also agree with Eric very much, and please oppose that, and I think you will. And we've been doing a great job with housing, and that is not an issue here, so I don't think that it's necessary, and I agree it's overreach. But because we have an economic development director, I brought Nicole in to do our annual report today because it is primarily all economic development.
Awesome. My name is Nicole Weick. I'm the Economic Development Director here at the Berry County Chamber and EDA. We are a 501c6 member-based organization for people that don't know, and our mission is to advance business, facilitate solutions, and strengthen communities. Our team consists of Jennifer and myself. Kim is our marketing business director. Alicia is our marketing coordinator. We have Emily, who has been added. She's expanded our capacity greatly in our workforce development initiatives. And then we have just added Dale Kruger, who is our new administrative assistant, so that should help improve the ability for people to just pop into the office at any time, because we should be open all the time now with him there. We are governed by a board of directors that represent the public and private sectors, and we have 2 key advisory boards that oversee our organization, the Economic Development Alliance Board and the Governance Board, and then we also have a Berry Business Group that kind of supports our efforts, does outreach, and works with Kim on events, ribbon cuttings, things like that. We have several key areas of focus. These are guided by our members and built into our strategic planning. It spans from everything from major workforce barriers like broadband access and childcare to business and community development and legislative advocacy. Many of these issues and areas overlap and are directly related to one another, and how we do this is through collaboration. We have a lot of partners that we work with. We sit on a lot of different boards and volunteer for a lot of different organizations. It's an extensive list of activities. I could spend 10 minutes just reading through that list. I'm not going to do that. Some of the new collaborations that we have taken on over the last year, though, include the Mill Street Market Advisory Board, the Berry County Career Consortium, Region 4 Outdoor Recreation Project, and several municipal partnerships, which I'm going to talk about later in this presentation. So I want to talk about some of the areas of focus that we've been working on, starting with broadband. As many of you know, this has been an issue for the county. I've been at the chamber since 2012. We were working on it in 2012. I started as an intern in 2012. So it has been a long, ongoing process, but we are starting to see a lot of progress being made. We have 490-ish addresses that are going to be covered through an expansion taking place in Hickory Corners. There's another project that's going to be kicking off shortly in Thornapple Township through Rutland Township. That's just over 200 addresses. And then our biggest success story with securing funding for Berry County has been through the BEAD program. And that was a whole thing. We had several partners that were applying for applications. The application window opened and the federal government said, let's pump the brakes. We're going to start all over from scratch. So it delayed everything by about 6 months. A couple of the projects weren't able to go forward because they weren't able to get their application updated in time for that. Despite all that, we still had almost 7,500 addresses that are going to be receiving broadband coverage through this expansion. Based on access, that is 87% of eligible BEAD locations in Berry County are going to be covered through this first set of BEAD funding. Based on speeds, that's 78% of eligible BEAD applications are going to be covered. So we're really excited to see this progress taking place. In addition to that, one of the things that we're hearing from a lot of our townships and regional partners is that some of these communities have never, ever had a broadband application come to them, and so they don't know what the process is for permitting, what their roles are, if it's administrative, if it's actual oversight, if it's, just kind of boilerplate approving applications. So we are going to be working with the state MyHigh office and a local provider that has successful projects throughout the entire state, including BEAD projects that are going to be taking place, to host a Permitting 101 workshop. The goal is to record this and make it available as a statewide asset to every rural community in the state so that they can have access to these permitting questions, because we're getting a lot of them. And in some cases there's confusion because at one point you had some companies that only did cable and now they're doing cable and broadband, and so they're coming to update their cable applications and calling it a broadband application, and that doesn't work. So there's just a lot lot of permitting taking place, and that's not even talking about the coordination that they have to do to get the right-of-ways and the easements and working with the road commission and all of that to actually do the construction. Or in some cases, it's Eagle is the issue. The project in Thornapple Township got delayed a little bit because in the right-of-way where they're working, for example, they're like, well, there may be historical artifacts here. You have a road and you have development on every one of those four corners. At some point, they decided there was no historical artifacts there, but we worked with them and got that taken care of. So that project is moving forward, and really excited about it. Childcare is another area where we've seen a lot of progress in Berry County. We did a regional study not too long ago, found that Berry County was in a desert. It was, 3.2 kids per provider?
It started at 4.2.
Yeah, started at 4.2. We are now to 2.3. So we have done a great job throughout the county expanding access to childcare, whether it's through partnerships to expand like TriShare and DuoShare, or just supporting providers as they expand. We've seen expansions in Middleville and Hastings, and a relocation of one facility in Nashville to their downtown area, which allowed them to add more seats. So we're really excited about that. The newest one that just opened is Munchkin Land 2.0 in Middleville. Upcoming, we have Mill Street Market, Little Sprouts Childcare is what it's called, and that will provide seats for 60 kids. And that's a great program. It's really interactive. They're going to be working with the farmers there to have, that type of education and access to fresh food year-round, because they're going to be sourcing it right from the Mill Street Market. So really excited for that. We've also, as we're working with developers in these communities where they have these childcare gaps, we are encouraging them, if they're looking for incentives, to really look into that childcare piece, because with the state, you have to have mixed use, you have to have a commercial piece, you have to have a housing piece to qualify for funding in most cases. Childcare covers that commercial piece, and if you're building a 150-unit facility in an area that already has a childcare desert and you're targeting families, you're just going to make that childcare desert worse if you're not also building childcare at the same time. And we've seen success with that. Both the large project in Middleville and Mill Street Market are adding childcare there. So we're really excited to see that as a best practice moving forward. And we'll continue to assess that as these projects come forward and make that recommendation. Obviously, there are some areas where if you go and, I think Middleville is probably getting to the point where if they added too many more facilities, they probably are going to start running into issues where they have too many available seats in the wrong area. I should specify about that, because it's not the above the 2 to school age, it's the 2 and below that we're seeing the biggest gaps, and also drop-in care and overnight care. So we're still working towards that. But we are making progress. I also want to touch a little bit about housing. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I think you guys are all in the thick of housing all the time right now. We've got over 1,000 units planned in Berry County for housing. We are in the process of updating our housing study. I think we just had to get the final cut sheets approved, and they had like 4 things to change on that, and that will be made live probably this week. So we're really excited about that. Essentially what happened was you guys did such a good job, the county did such a good job with housing, that we had to update everything because our numbers didn't work anymore. It's a great problem to have. We've also seen communities like Middleville and Hastings move forward with their RRC certification. This is something that the state promotes, and redevelopment ready communities is what RRC stands for. If I say an acronym and you don't know what it is, just wave at me and I will spell it out. I do that sometimes, so I apologize for that. But we are seeing a lot of progress where communities are updating and reviewing their planning and zoning to see if they have maybe rules that don't make sense or are contradictory, and they're updating them, and we're seeing a lot of progress take place as a result. We've also helped expand tools like the PACE District, which allows alternative financing options for energy efficiency upgrades and projects, working with the Land Bank, Mischief and Missing Middle housing programs. We've also worked with the folks in Berry Township and Revitalize Delton to get them connected with a CDBG grant. They are in the application process of that. That would be a significant funding opportunity for them to help offset some of the costs related to the Stepping Stones development with their water, sewer, road expansion there. And then finally, we're working right now with on partnerships for housing called, with the HOMES program, that is Home Ownership Made Easy and Sustainable. This is a partnership between the Chamber, the Barry Community Foundation, and the United Way, essentially to keep affordable housing affordable and to give people the tools that they need to maintain the longevity of those houses when they buy them. So we're really excited to get that rolled out. They're working on a potential project where all of the homes in that development would be part of this homes project. So more to come on that. And then we're also working, there's a big gap for low-income housing, so 60% of the median area income or lower. We are working with municipalities to develop a plan of redevelopment and reuse of existing blighted properties to kind of create that access point, because what we're hearing from developers and builders is that even if you are able to stack all of the incentives you could possibly get, it's still going to be unaffordable housing. And so, and it's just because of the hard cost of new construction right now. To Jeff's point about the preemption, I don't know where Jeff went, to his point about the preemption, it's not going to do anything to bring down the hard square footage per cost of building homes to take away local zoning rights. It's only going to be it may only be a benefit in those communities where they have such restrictive zoning that they haven't built anything for 20 years anyways. So like Ann Arbor really is the one that kind of spurred this law to be pushed forward. And again, it's not going to do anything to actually lower the cost of housing. I did mention earlier Emily, so I'm going to jump right to the next thing because I know we only have a few minutes and I can talk about this for like 6 hours. So we did bring on Emily. She's our Workforce Development Director. Since she's been brought on, we've formally reestablished the Career Consortium of Barry County. We've had our first cohort of CAMA students, which is Kellogg Advanced Manufacturing Assembly, graduate with their soft skills certification. So we were able to hold that ceremony and recognize those students, and that was great. We have heard for probably since COVID the loudest feedback that we get about, young people entering the workforce is a lack of soft skills. And so to address that, we worked with KCC to develop a curriculum that is soft skills training that is part of the business CTE programs. And we had 5 students graduate from that this year. Actually, it was 2 weeks ago, I think. We're also working with Corewell Health and FlexFab to establish a temporary training career technical education facility that would focus on allied healthcare and manufacturing. So we're really excited about that, and then continuing to work with our school districts and KCC and local partners to expand training opportunities both at KCC's campus